What's up, y'all? I'm back. So, Saturday, week 3 of Common Writer Gavv. More relaxed video today. So, I'm here to talk about my predictions for episode 3. I rewatched episode 2 just a couple minutes ago just to get a little refresher. And honestly, I really warmed up on Gavv so far. Because at first, like, you guys saw my first video, I wasn't really looking forward to it too much. But the more I saw, the more I kind of like got excited. Because Gavv he really feels like Kamen Rider's back, right? Everyone's already been saying the same thing, where like, feels show-esque in the way he, like his motivations, the way he talks to people, his backstory and that kind of stuff. But I specifically also like how cheerful he is and how like excitable he is about everything. Kind of harkens back to Daisuke from Amazon, right? Reminds me a little bit of that. And the way he befriends people, the way he cares about people's happiness, but the way he but talks about it from an outsider's point of view. It's like, how dare you like threaten their happiness, right? He doesn't really include himself in that group. It's got this undertone of sadness with it, and also kind of like longing to be part of that group. I really like that, right? His little friendship with Sachika and her friend is pretty cute. Also, one little correction. Last video, I said her name was Sachiko, but it's Sachika. Sachiko. But the mistake was because I was watching without subs. Remember, I was just watching the live stream. And when it showed her name written down on the opening, I could barely see the A at the end. I thought it was an O. So, but also, first of all, spoilers up until this timestamp right here. Spoilers for the leaks, because there have been a couple leaks, right? So I'm pretty sure Sachika is gonna be the pudding writer, like the tertiary, because I remember, I think it was last month, someone was already saying like, hey, I'm one of the extras that have been there at the filming, right? They're now filming with the tertiary writer. It's like a yellow pudding writer. And then in the opening, right, we see Gavv like in front of the camera with the purple bubble with his writer form in there, and then Valen Hanto is right there with a red bubble that's empty, but obviously later that red bubble is gonna have his writer form coming out of Valen. And then Sachika is there with a yellow bubble, and it's empty, so obviously that's going to be her pudding writer form. I'm excited for that. That's going to be cool. What else? Oh, I do like the idea that Hanto probably is going to have to fight the monster that killed his sister. Or rather, I should say, I hope that his debut fight is against the monster that killed his sister. It would be pretty cool. But the more I was thinking about Hanto, I really thought about how, I wonder if he's gonna find out about who Shoma is first, or Sachika. I feel like obviously she's gonna find out that he's a writer first, right? But I wonder who's gonna actually find out about his secret identity first. He almost let it slip. He almost let it slip this episode, or last episode rather. It was like, oh, Shoma's Inoue Shoma. My bad. So it's probably gonna slip. And talking about the stomachs, I really like how their organization is set up. Obviously, last video I didn't really talk about this because again, no subs. But now we got most of their names. We got confirmation that they all have their human disguises and their real forms. They're all looking for Shoma. Obviously, they think he's dead, but they're still like kind of looking for his corpse to make sure. And they say like their father's dead, so their father's probably Shoma's dad too. And then they said now that woman is out of the way, it was probably the human woman that's Shoma's mom. So they probably killed her either just to try to eat a human, or for a prototype for a human dark snack, or just for being a traitor, probably. So they definitely killed her. It was implied in episode 1. And probably in that same incident, that's when they tried to kill Shoma, but he escaped. And, you know, that was the first part of episode 1. And you know what this reminds me of? The whole thing with the evil family that kind of has the same powers as the writer, but in a darker way. That they also use the same, like, gimmick as the writer's belt. It reminds me of Kamen Rider Double. Remember the first episode, the first video where I predicted it would start kind of like Double, where it's the main hero running away from the evil villains when he first gets his power or something like that. Reminds me of that, and especially with the evil Granuts, because the way they transform into their human forms is by inserting the little Granut USB drives into their Gavv, and then they go back to the regular form just by taking it out. Chew. I don't really know how to make this thing do the other noises. I have the driver over there, but I can't be asked to go look for it right now. But yeah, it reminds me of Double, and I really appreciate that because, again, Double is my favorite Kamen Rider season, right? I still don't really like the suit, but I am warming up to the whole style, right? Zaku Zaku Chips, that form is pretty fucking cool. I really like the gimmick of the slicing at an angle instead of slicing like this, and the idea that to get more chips into his blade, he has to like squeeze the bag so the chips come out. It's pretty cool. I really liked his attitude towards the fight. It really did feel show-esque, like I mentioned earlier. I wonder how Hanto is gonna feel about Shoma, because I feel like this episode 3, is gonna be Hanto cornering Gavv. Maybe that's where it ends. Like he corners Gavv to try to find out who Gavv is, what's going on, right? Obviously, in the preview, we saw Sachika talking about like Kamen Riders. It's probably rumors online, people calling him Kamen Rider, and that's how she's gonna hear about it. Or he tells her he's Kamen Rider, something like that. Obviously, he's gonna go back to living at her place, obviously. But for now, I just want to see what happens. I'm excited to see how the stomachs react when they see him, because they're definitely gonna recognize his human form, but they're not gonna recognize his rider form. Because as far as we know, it's very, very different from the other Granuts, from every other Granut, until we see leaks up until this. So spoilers for leaks up until this timestamp. Up until we see the rider that has the dark red Gavv that we saw in those other leaks. Until then, right? And then I wonder how Valen is gonna work, right? Because the reason Gavv transforms is because he's Granut, and because he's half human. That's why he transforms the way he does. But how does Valen's rider system work? And then, again, how will the tertiary rider form or rider system work? Gotta wonder about that. So far, though, I really like Sachika. Hanto's pretty cool. I was really surprised when I heard the word digital native, because it's a term I haven't heard in years, since like computer class back in high school, man. I've barely ever heard that term, but I mean, it makes sense. Because Hanto is what, like 20 something? Early 20s probably. So he was probably born in the 2000s. Or just really late 90s. Because the incident where his sister died he said it was 18 years ago. And he looked what, like 5 years old at the time, probably. I don't know. And obviously, this show takes place in 2024, assumedly. So that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, honestly, I'm really liking Gavv a lot more than I expected so far. Episode 2 was really fucking good. I love pretty much everything about it. For now, we're 2 for 2. For both episodes of Gavv, we have bike action. Well, not bike action, just bike scenes. So hopefully we keep that streak going, you know, with the just repainted bike so that it can comply with Japanese bike laws. Hopefully that keeps going. And just like I said back when Gotchard was first airing, this is the first Kamen Rider season since Kuga to only have one Kamen Rider. For now. But technically that is correct. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, that's pretty much it for my predictions. Next time I should probably write notes so I can be more organized and make sure that I hit every point that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, also, one last thing about the stomachs. I do like how they're kind of riffing on Bondi with the, oh, we should work on our premium line, and also how all the stomachs seem like they're their own generals in their organization, because they all have their own people that work under each one. Obviously Jeep and his twin sister probably work together, but the other ones work pretty much independently of each other. So I'm probably right about that prediction back in episode 1, where they're probably working against each other and they've all got their own goals and compete with each other. God knows which one of them is gonna start cooperating with or sympathizing with Shoma first, but only time will tell. Right now all that's left is to wait for 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, obviously, and wait for the episode to air. And the reaction is gonna start right about now. Sup, yo? I'm back. It is now, haven't checked the time, it's probably like 8:30 or something right now. Gavv episode 3 finished airing, and I have some thoughts. So, another banger episode like the other two. I think episode 2 is still my favorite so far, because Sachika's a lot more fun than the, whatever his name is, the thief from this episode. I really like the idea of already in episode 3 showing Gavv kind of like, showing Shoma kind of like the uglier sides of humanity, not like the ugliest. It's like kind of showing him that, you know, not every human is like entirely super good, right? Confronting him with this is kind of a good idea, and I really like how he didn't give up hope in the guy, because like the guy helped him at first. And they helped each other. So even when Shoma saw him stealing from that lady's house, he was like, "Man, come on, don't do this. You can do better, man. Like, come on, dude. I'll get you out of here, bro. Like, we gotta get you out of here." I thought that was really cool. The fight was pretty cool. I really like the how punching Gummy, how that whole thing happened. Obviously the fish looked really, really fucking goofy. But I thought it was cool. It was a cool goofy, right? It's not as bad as a bunch of other power-ups I've seen. But I liked it, basically. And what else? Oh, I fucking loved not only the water effects from when he was punching him, and just the water splashed behind him, but then the way that the little droplets of soda, they kind of like floated around him and then became punches at the end. Kind of like the A-rods from Xenogears. Kind of like that. I don't know. I'll probably have an animation playing here, the death of that attack. But to those that haven't played Xenogears, play Xenogears, by the way. Play that shit. It's good. Peak PS1 JRPG. But back to the point. Yeah, so far a really solid episode. There's not as much to say as last time. I like how they came up with the title Kamen Rider. Again, reminding me a lot of Kamen Rider Double, the way they had like the townspeople, like people seeing the writer, came up with the title Kamen Rider and gave it to him. I really like that. I like how Hanto is kind of like warming up to Gavv. He's like, wait, is this guy human? Are you a human? He wasn't like outwardly aggressive to Gavv, especially when he saw him fighting the actual Granute. I like that. I really, really like that. Obviously, he's going to be a little hesitant once he finds out he's a half Granute, and then obviously when he finds out he's, you know, the spoiler. The spoiler that everyone found out before we found out his like fake name, but right. I wonder what they were saying at the end when the other guy came behind Hanto to say like, "Oh, you're a Granute, right?" Right after Hanto asks Gavv like, "You're a human, right?" I wonder what that conversation was, because again, live broadcast, no subs. I could just barely understand what the fuck was going on, right? Again, Shoma always hitting the guys with the drop the dark snacks right now, or I'm gonna beat your ass. And then Hunter, obviously, he overheard that. He was like, dark snacks? What the fuck is he talking about? So that was pretty cool. That was actually really cool. I really like that thing he does at the end, like giving the bad guys a chance. It's obviously corny, and they're never gonna go through with it, but it's the thought that counts. You know, it just makes for a little cool a cool little interaction at the end. It's cool, right? What else? I really like I like how the Gochizo are kind of like their own little guys. They're like Pikmin. Everyone's already made the Pikmin connection, but like, I love how he sent the little Poppin' Gummy Gochizo to go look after the other guy, and then when he got kidnapped, he was coming over like, Shama, and like talking to him. That was cute. That was really cute. I wonder why the Granu for this episode, like he had a female body, but a very, very male voice. I mean, obviously, first instinct is to say, oh, the Granu is trans, but it's Toei. They're probably not doing that shit right, unfortunately. But I wonder why, because Granu can be female. We see it in the stomachs, which reminds me too. They're obviously looking for Shoma, and I imagine they would know that Shoma has a red Gavv, because, you know, obviously, right? He's the only one that has it like that. And then they see the red Gavv on Kamen Rider Gavv. But when the Jeep twins, I'm calling them the Jeep twins, even though they're not all, both Jeep, but I forget the girl's name. When the Jeep twins saw the picture of the red Gavv, they didn't really mention the name Shoma. Maybe they mentioned the name Runaway, or the title, that's our captive, that's the guy we're looking for. Maybe, I don't know, because again, I don't know the word they were using, but I do know they did specifically mention, they pointed out that this is a red Gavv. That's strange. So they're probably on Shoma's trail now. Probably going to close in on him either next episode or the week after that. I didn't really look at the preview. But what else? No real bike action this episode. That's disappointing. So what I said in the first part of this video, that fucking sucks, huh? No bike action. So now we don't have 3 out of 3 for bike action, but 3 out of 3 banger episodes though. I like this episode. I wonder where Shoma's gonna go next, obviously. Like I said in the first video, he's probably gonna keep on doing this little shtick of he's helping out a different person every week. He's probably gonna keep on doing that for the first 5 episodes, 4 or 5 probably, and then he's just gonna go back to Sachika's place, and then they're gonna be staying there. Then he's gonna hunker down, and everyone's gonna be coming to him, and it's gonna be their base. I didn't expect Hanto to know Sachika's business like that. I did not expect that, but you know, it kind of makes sense, right? Because he's a journalist, he needs informants, she's a handy woman, so she would know a lot of people, she probably has a good information network, or probably knows lots of stuff, so. And also, like, for the plot, they're gonna have to be like a trio anyway, so might as well, right? But yeah, not much else to say, because again, I don't understand Japanese. My Nihongo is not very Jozu, so I can only understand like bits and bobs of what was going on based on the words I did pick up on and just general visual context. But so far, 3 out of 3 good episodes. I'm really, really liking Gavv so far. I like Zaku Saku Chips more and more the more I see it. Even though it still looks kind of lame, I don't like the suits, but overall everything around it, outside of the suits and the suits, the belt, and the transformation animation, I like it. I see the little, you know, the henshin pose looks pretty cool. I fuck with that. And then his little stumble before he gets up, that's cool. Yeah, not much else to say. Because the subs are probably gonna come out by the time I go to sleep tonight. Yeah, it's just Another week, another good Gavv episode. I'm really liking it more and more. I'm kind of eating my words, honestly, because on Twitter I was talking mad shit about Gavv before it actually started airing. But yeah, I'm really hopeful. Hopefully they can keep up this momentum, this little show-esque vibe they've got going on. And I know I'm placing a lot of hope on the villains, because I really hope the Stomachs are an interesting villain group. And yeah, that's about it. All I have to say is thank you for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.